The fact that the names Gregory and McDonald continue to be recognised by cricket enthusiasts, even those with limited knowledge of the history of the game, is, looked at objectively, rather surprising. It is now more than 90 years since they last appeared together in a test match, and even then their partnership consisted of just 11 tests over a period of only 10 months in 1921, 8 against England and 3 against South Africa. It's not as if their figures are particularly spectacular. McDonald's 43 wickets came in 11 tests and cost him more than 33 runs each. For Gregory, there were 24 tests, which brought him 85 victims at 31. Neither man ever achieved a 10-wicket match haul. McDonald's strike rate is 67. At 65.6, Gregory's was a little better, but still a long way behind the 39.8 of current champion Dale Steyn. There is, of course, a lesson there about the value of statistics in judging the impact of cricketers. They may be an intricate tool with which to add the finishing touches to a player's story, but they can never be the centrepiece. Jack Gregory was born in 1895 and was therefore 25 when his Test career began. He had a fine cricketing pedigree. Sid Gregory, the famous Australian batsman of the previous generation, was his cousin. Two uncles, Dave and Ned, also played Test cricket, and his father and another cousin graced the first-class game. Ted McDonald was older and had celebrated his 30th birthday before making his Test debut. He was born in Tasmania, for whom he made his first-class debut as a teenager. He subsequently moved to the mainland and played for Victoria, though there was not a great deal of top-class cricket for him before the outbreak of the Great War. So what sort of bowlers were these two legendary figures? For 21st century eyes, there are a few celluloid fragments of Gregory in action, but none, to the best of my knowledge, of McDonald. It is therefore necessary to look at what others have said of them. The fearsome reputation was forged in Australia during the baggy green wash that was the 1920-21 Ashes series. Although McDonald's contribution in the 3 tests in which he played was modest, it was the return series in England in 1921 where the legend was set in stone. Writer Ronald Mason was a young lad in that far-off summer, and 50 years on, heavily influenced by distant but still vivid childhood memories, he produced what remains the only English account of the tour. Of Gregory, Mason said, "One man in an excellent position to describe what Gregory and McDonald were like is wicket-keeper Bert Oldfield, who, with Yorkshire-born undertaker Hanson Sammy Carter, shared the Australian keeping duties through 1921. He sets the scene by saying Gregory always had the advantage of bowling with the wind. I found McDonald's approach to the wicket rhythmical and graceful by comparison to the bounding and somewhat ungainly run and delivery of Gregory." Warming to his task, Oldfield went on, "Gregory always swung the new ball more effectively than his teammate, and he was, if anything, slightly faster, while the sheen remained on the ball. Once the newness was worn off, he relied wholly on pace, whereas McDonald was able to turn the ball back from the off, even at his fastest speed, and with this ball he could be most destructive. The spin that McDonald imparted added speed to his delivery in an almost deceptive manner. After the ball made contact with the pitch, on the other hand, Gregory's delivery did not gain pace from the pitch, rather it did lose impetus, particularly on a lifeless wicket." Oldfield returned to his theme once again on Gregory. His high deliveries, bounding run and controlled accuracy made him a dangerous and effective bowler. Using the new ball, he swung it more disconcertingly than any fast bowler to whom I've ever kept. His good length deliveries lifted awkwardly as though they were short pitched, and so proved extremely troublesome to all types of batsmen. And on McDonald, nothing in cricket was prettier than the action of McDonald. He bowled with such rhythm that his actions seemed to flow as smoothly as a river. All his energy went into flinging the ball down, and none into superfluous pounding of the earth or waving of the arms. When considering which of the two were the faster bowler, Oldfield's conclusion was, McDonald was, to my mind, faster than Gregory, though with a much lower action. He could always be relied upon, like Gregory, to keep a good, even, perfect length. He also assessed their respective merits overall. I unhesitatingly hand the palm to McDonald as the greater because of his versatility and remarkable stamina.